Happy Sunday morning. This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Today we'll talk about the next day, Tennessee versus Vanderbilt, as Tennessee takes care of business last night, 88-53 over Vanderbilt. And any of you guys that were with me late last night, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. It was a late one. It was one I kind of wish I hadn't committed to doing at the time, as didn't foresee extra innings last night. Didn't foresee a little free baseball down in Arlington, but for you guys that stayed up with me last night, thank you. Cannot express how grateful I am to you. But before we get into that, if you like this thing, that's great. Hit that thumbs up on it. My biggest thing, man, I'm trying to drive these subscriptions. I'm at 156 right now. Not too bad for a month and a half in. Little low this month. And of course, that's maybe I'm not doing enough good content along the way. And that's all right. A lot of things, trying to cover a lot right now. Let me tell you, this is just baseball and basketball. I'm not even hardly hit much football, and I need to definitely hit some football along the way as well. But so I'm going to hit next day for basketball right now, and then I'm going to immediately after record next day for baseball and drop that in a few minutes as well. No post game tonight after baseball. I'm going to look at possibly midweek doing some post game. Because I know it's earlier games, it'll be earlier times, so it maybe work out better in that regard. But enough of the rambling. Tennessee takes care of business. A game that was never in check last night. They led for 38 minutes and 38 seconds of the game, and they trailed for 0 of it. I think that they probably put the nail in the coffin of Jerry Stackhouse last night. The bad thing, you get out here on social media, you've got all these fakes out trying to be funny and stuff, because I've seen a couple of them saying Stackhouse is out today. Maybe he will be. I don't know. There's still a bit of time left for that to happen. But, Tennessee, again, last night, 88-53. And just looking at the team stats for last night, they held Vanderbilt for the game to 33% on field goals, 28% on three-pointers, and Vandy only shot 50% from the free throw line. That's pretty bad. And Vandy's leading scorer was Alan Lubin, so at about 10 points, and then Tyron Lawrence with 8 points. They clamped down on these guys last night. It was a game that was never in check. The rebounding battle was even at 36-36, but other than that, Tennessee dominated. As you had Tennessee shot for the game 47.8% field goals, 45.2 from 3 points, and then 72.7 free throws. They were 8 of 11 on the game. And, you got a lot of guys minutes last night. I thought it was pretty funny. One of Rick Barnes' quotes is he's apt to break out to one-liners. Sometimes they talk about Cam Carr. And Cam Carr in 13 minutes and 20 seconds was 3 of 7. And there was a lot of laughs about him kind of meeting a shot he hasn't liked. And Rick Barnes said, I think Cam Carr's got to lead the nation in shots per minute. And they asked him after the game if he's always had the green light, and he said yes. And they said, do you always have it now? And he said no. And they said, what would fix that? And he said, stop shooting air balls. But he hit 2 out of 4 3-pointers last night. I thought that was pretty good on him. But a stat I like on here, it is plus minus, and they have it on utsports.com. And if you're not aware of that, I would equate that to, and I still don't fully understand this stat, but I know what it means. If you're a baseball guy, WAR, where it factors in wins above replacement. It's more or less a stat. Maybe you're not hitting 300 something. Maybe you're not hitting 30 bombs, but your defense is, you're one of the top defensive guys. How many runs are you saving at your position and so on? So plus minus in basketball, from one look at it, measures a player's impact on the game by calculating the change in score, which is plus or minus, while each player is on the court. It's useful in showing how players that may not put up big individual numbers still have a positive impact on the game. I'm not sure exactly for the season. It was that Josiah Jordan-James had the highest plus minus on the team, and Vescovy, I think, was second, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this was the last time I looked at for the season has been about 2 weeks. So, they've had 4 games since then. But, for the times that I'm hard on those two guys, that just goes to show you with their plus minus, their impact in the game, maybe not on the scoreboard, but they're impacting in other ways. And, it was good to see those guys have a good night offensively last night. Good to see those guys. Listen, man, I've been hard on those two. They're fifth-year seniors. I expect a lot out of them, but I'm going to be the first one to come on when I do a video and really praise these guys. Great game for them last night. As they're looking at the plus-minus category now, getting into the stats. Adu was plus 18. Connect plus 32, Ziegler plus 33, Vescovy plus 28, James plus 23, Gainey plus 10, Awaka plus 20, Mashak 12. Dillon was 0, so there was no change, no plus nor minus for him. Cade Phillips 5, Cam Carr, Colin Hoyle both minus 3, and Grant Hurst 0 on the plus minus. So, again, that means when they're on the court, how does it impact the game? And then looking at individual statistics, Jonas Adu, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Dalton Connect, 14 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Zakai Ziegler, no turnovers last night. That to me stood out more than anything about Zakai Ziegler because he's normally 2 to 3 per game. No turnovers last night. 2 steals, 5 assists, 14 points. Nice job by him. 4 of 5 from 3-point range. Vescovy, 4 of 5 from 3-point, 3 rebounds. 12 points, 5 assists, no turnovers along the way. Good game for him. Good shooting game. And Tennessee needs him. Tennessee needs him big time. They really do. They need him to be able to hit those open shots, and he's going to get them. And you got to have his confidence high. Josiah Jordan James, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover in his time. No turnovers, 3 steals. Very good game for him. Nice all-around game for him last night. He played 17, right at 18 minutes. Jordan Gainey had 1 point last night. Awaka, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Mashak, 2 points. Dillon, 2. Cade Phillips, 2. Cam Carr, 8. And who knows, man? Cam Carr has got a shooter's mentality. And he's a guy, I think, if he gets hot, he could be an asset down the stretch. And I like that they're having these games to get these younger guys that playing time. And I really hope these guys like Freddie Dillon and Cam Carr hang in there because they're going to have some opportunity next year. You're losing Vescovy, you're losing James, and you're losing Dalton Connect. And now I said it last night on the postgame. I could not blame at all Jonas Adu and Zakai Ziegler if they don't test the waters. I don't necessarily think they go pro after this year. I've seen Adu's name mentioned some articles about his stock creeping up. So, but with those guys 1 year, what do they have to lose to test the waters and get feedback? I hope they do that, see where they're at. But Cam Carr and Freddie Dillon, they're going to have a lot of opportunity next year. And you got to think Barnes goes portal again, as they've only signed 1 freshman, Bishop Boswell out of North Carolina. You got to think they're going to try to bring in a Dalton Connect type, a guy who can come in and score, if not a couple of them. And I think they could withstand to address another big body as well. But it's good to see Cade Phillips getting some playing time. Of course, J.P. Estrella has been out hurt. And, really besides the 3 I mentioned, James, Vescovy, Connect, I hate to speculate, but I think the writing's on the wall. DJ Jefferson, he redshirted last year. He's not even played this year. He didn't get in again last night when they emptied the bench. Who knows? I guess we can call it what we want on it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a roster spot open up right there. But excellent night for Tennessee. Again, another stellar defensive night. 53 points given up. Just a real good week for Tennessee. And again, I know it wasn't against 2 good teams, but still, you got to take care of business in those games. And that Texas A&M game keeps looking a little worse. No shame in losing to Alabama like they did yesterday, but they lost to Vanderbilt earlier in the week. And Texas A&M comes back to Knoxville next Saturday, and I would venture to say Tennessee will be amped up for that game. And then this week they've got at Missouri. Missouri's 0 for the conference right now. They don't need to get their first win this coming week. Tuesday night. Can't remember what time that game is right off the top of my head. I haven't looked at that. But Tennessee at Missouri this week, and then they get Texas A&M next week. And then they've got a gauntlet the last 2 weeks with Alabama, South Carolina, Auburn, and Kentucky. and not maybe not in that particular order, but they have those 4 teams, and that's your cream of the crop of the SEC. Of course, Florida's been red hot right now as well, but Tennessee still has a shot to win the conference outright. They're 1 game behind Alabama. If they could go down and get that win and stay at least tied up the top, they're going to have a big say-so in that at the end. Again, you're at Alabama, you're at South Carolina, and that South Carolina team and their style has given Tennessee trouble all year. So when Tennessee goes to Columbia, how do they bounce back against them? I don't expect as bad of a defensive performance, but they had a pretty bad one against Texas A&M too. Should be that there's at least 4 tough games. I expect next week Tennessee rolls at Missouri, and I expect them to roll Texas A&M next week. Texas A&M's not going to come in and shoot like they did in College Station. They have some good players, yes, but they're not going to come in and have their game of the year twice against Tennessee in 1 year, especially as good defensively as Tennessee is. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in with me. I appreciate all your support. If you get a chance to like this, that'd be great. If you can share this out, if you like what I'm putting out, if you know anybody be interested, please share it out. Get eyes on the product. And then the last thing, if you haven't already and you're liking what's going on, hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. But my name's Frank Wright. This is the House of Orange. I hope you enjoy your Sunday and have a great day. And as always, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.